Rolly, Ryan Garcia said that he would give a shot to Rayo Valenzuela. What do you think about that fight if it happens?
Give a
Rayo. That's
like,
what he said.
Because we're Ryan, it could be he's talking about a shot at tequila.
The fight between Ryan Garcia and Rolando Romero is scheduled for May 2nd in Times Square, but it's already a war outside of it. Rolly has never held back when he speaks, and Ryan is tired of playing games. Both fighters have been verbally attacking each other, threatening and insulting each other, setting the stage for one of the most explosive fights of the year.
You got the best left, the best left in the world.
After testing positive for Ostarine and serving a suspension, Ryan Garcia is on a mission after a contentious fight with Devin Haney. However, before he can reconcile with Haney, he must deal with Rolly Romero. Based on his recent words, it appears that Ryan is approaching this fight with pure aggression, warning Rolly that there will be consequences if he crosses the line. I hope you understand what Ryan wrote when he said, "I'm not taking you lightly at all. I'm coming with some real F-King anger, and I'm sorry it has to be you." That wasn't just a warning. It was a declaration of war. And if anyone thought Ryan was playing around, his follow-up was even more heated.
If this fight is taking place at welterweight, does that suit you? Is that better for you?
I mean, I called this years ago saying that me and him were going to fight at welterweight. And this when we were both 35-pounders, so, I mean, I long outgrown 140.
Ryan isn't interested in the circus that usually follows a Rolly Romero fight, and he's seen how Rolly uses trash talk to make every event into a spectacle. However, Ryan is making it clear that this isn't just a fight for him. It's personal, and he doesn't want jokes. He wants a war. On the other hand, Rolly Romero is thriving in the chaos, and he has never been the type to back down from a verbal altercation. And he's not going to start now. As far as he's concerned, he's been calling Ryan out for years, and now is the time to prove why he's the superior man.
Is it going to happen? Or do you want it to happen?
I shall see.
You shall see?
I shall see.
Yeah? What do you make of him skipping the Haney fight for a fight with you?
No opinion on that. No opinion on that either.
I've been calling this boy out for a very long time. I have the biggest balls in boxing, and I am the biggest stalker in the game. Rolly claimed that he knows Ryan is upset and angry, and he intends to use that against him. Ryan isn't just focused on winning this fight. He's focused on making a statement. He wants to dominate Rolly, erase the memory of his loss to Haney, silence the critics, and prove that he's still one of the best fighters in the world. However, when asked about Ryan's rematch with Haney, he dismissed it without giving it any thought. The back and forth between these two has already made this one of the most talked about fights of the year. But the real question is whether Ryan's anger will work for him or against him. Rolly has been in this situation before. He's been in the midst of drama and thrives in it. But for Ryan, this is different. He's not just dealing with Rolly's words, he's also carrying the weight of his suspension, the expectations of a rematch with Haney, and the need to prove himself once more.
These fighters' history. Rolly and Ryan, they have a big history. They actually sparred before. You can go watch their fight on YouTube.
They say he clout chasing.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, man. When I watched the spar, you know, Rolly was beating him, man. Ryan didn't have no answer.
In response to Rolly's taunts, Ryan said, "I'll have you lay your gloves down in the ring like a fighter retiring." Rolly knows that allowing his emotions to take over could be his downfall, which is why he's prodding the bear. He wants Ryan to lose control and fight emotionally because he thinks he'll be able to capitalize on it. In Rolly's opinion, Ryan isn't built for this kind of fight. He's quick and skilled, but he lacks the mental toughness to handle the pressure.
He's a fighter that can come and fight. He's hungry. He's hungry to get on top. He's hungry to be world champion.
But there is no denying that Ryan Garcia's left hook is more than just a weapon. It's a career ender. Trainers warn their guys about it, but they still lose to it. This happened to defensive genius Devin Haney, and now Rolly Romero is next, in line to try his luck. Let's face it, Rolly lacks the skills to avoid that shot. His defense is flimsy, and he walks into punches like he's collecting them for a scrapbook. This fight is only taking place because he talks loud enough to convince people that he is worthy. But when that hook lands, the hype is getting.
Ryan Garcia is going up to 147. I'm not going to say I think he's going to be fast. I'm not sure if his strength is going to translate to 147. It went with him to 140, but that doesn't mean it's going to go with him to 147.
There's a reason why Devin Haney, a fighter once thought to be the sport's future, was reduced to survival mode against Garcia. That left hook shattered all the illusions about Haney's supposed dominance, but Devin was exposed in a way that can't be undone. His fans spent years pushing the idea that he was some untouchable ring general, but Garcia made him look like a regular dude. That's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. What's crazy is that Rolly doesn't seem to care, acting as though Garcia's knockout power isn't real.
Rough sparring, I guess, but he continued to use that sparring to, kind of boost up his career.
It's just sparring. We're going to see in the real.
Rolly Romero has already demonstrated that he doesn't respond well to power. When he attempted his typical bull rush routine, he was knocked out by Giovanna Tank Davis, and Isaac Pitbull's Cruz left him looking lost. The only reason Rolly is still alive is because he somehow managed to get a belt, and Turki Al-Sheikh saw the benefit of putting him in this circus. It's entertainment, not sport, and Rolly is playing his part loudly ridiculous and ultimately disposable. He's the villain being fed to the hero.
Ryan Garcia would be an amazing fight, Me and Ryan sparred way back when, we sparred twice, and there's always it's gonna be. That fight will sell out. I know that fight will sell out. That's one of.
And let's face it, Rolly isn't coming into this fight with some elite strategy. Instead, he's a crazy puncher who leaps forward like a guy playing Street Fighter on a broken controller. This works against some opponents, but against Garcia, it's a recipe for disaster. If he rushes in, that left hook will send him into another dimension, and if he tries to box, that won't happen because Rai is a brawler and doesn't really know how to box. The issue is that if Haney and Garcia fight again, it will be another one-sided affair. Haney isn't going to magically develop knockout power overnight, and he's not going to suddenly withstand the left hook. Garcia made it clear that he was the better fighter, and Haney barely survived the first fight. However, boxing politics don't work on logic. They work on money.
Who would you say is another good trash talker in boxing?
Right now, man, really, just that retarded ass fool Rolly, to be honest. Rolly right now probably runs his mouth the most, but he can't back it up. There's a difference between me and him. I talk a lot of trash, but I've been backing up everything I've been saying so far, but probably Rolly.
What do you think of his fight with Ryan that's been announced? They're fighting in May in Times Square, New York City.
I think that's a better fight for Ryan, publicity-wise, than...
The biggest question is where Ryan goes after destroying Rolly. A fight with Teofimo Lopez makes much more sense than running it back with Haney. Teo has the strength, confidence, and power to not just survive, but fight back. That's the kind of matchup boxing needs. What we'll see is a rerun of what happened before Haney got hurt, holding on for dear life and making excuses afterward.
There's been a lot of back and forth between you and Ryan Garcia. What are your thoughts, and what message would you send him right now, brother?
I have no thoughts about him. I don't give a about him. He's not a boxer, so who gives a about him? Of course, thank you.
Instead, we're likely to see another Garcia-Haney fight because it's easy to sell, not because it's competitive. As for Rolly, he better hope he can still talk after this fight, because his mouth is the only thing keeping him relevant when that left hook lands. His career is being reset, and he won't be able to rematch. Ryan Garcia has said a lot in the past, including that he was locked in, that he promised to take boxing seriously, and that he was done with distractions. However, this time, he insists that it's different, that there won't be any more drugs, alcohol, or crazy social media antics, just boxing the problem. No one believes him yet.
Ryan Garcia? Bro, he's one of the most entertaining fighters I've ever seen in my life. He gets hit. You don't know where the fuck he throws some random ass hook that knocks people out. He gets hit. He does some weird ass feet.
In April 2024, Ryan Garcia defeated Devin Haney via 3 knockdowns. However, Garcia tested positive for a substance called ostarine, and the bout was subsequently ruled a no contest. Romero said that it had been 8 years since rumors of a fight between him and Ryan Garcia started, but now that the fight is in front of them, they are taking it with the level of intensity that fans had anticipated.
Last question. Final message to Ryan Garcia before y'all fight.
No Vaseline.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Rolly Romero started the argument, and naturally Ryan Garcia escalated it. Romero is a fearless, fierce boxer who throws really hard blows at anyone he faces. His fighting style has won over many boxing fans in recent years, but he will now face boxer star Ryan Garcia, who told Fight Hype that it's long overdue and that it's kind of unexpected.
I'm asking you about this, right? We sparred in 2013, March 2013, right?
Ryan was out and about one day talking about fighting Isaac Cruz and all that, and when I woke up the next day, I saw that it was Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. I suppose Ryan didn't really understand what was going on because the two are competitors and will be fighting for each other in the press, neither of whom is an introvert, and they will be promoting this fight to the fullest extent possible. The games will start soon, and people will forget that Garcia is coming off a lengthy suspension, so he needs to take this very seriously and look good, or else he might be caught slipping if he is not prepared.
4 months. At the time, he's 4 years older than me, right? So that means he's 21, I was 17, right? He going hard on me, right? Also, after I stopped his little brother, right? To claim that he's...
As for the fight, it looks to be a good one with lots of speed and power that will probably be displayed. Rolly is usually in good fights, and Garcia's clash of fighting styles is likely to work well. The trash talk has already begun, and Garcia stated on X that he is not surprised that Pitbull pulled out, but we get to fight some dog food in rolls.
They're fighting. Yeah. So you Pitbull in New York, Times Square.
Yeah, Times Square, yes.
Nice, man. What? I guess curious, how does the fight go in your opinion? I know you guys have been circling each other for a long time.
Ryan Garcia started the verbal sparring match by announcing that he would face Isaac Cruz in his upcoming fight in May after his boxing ban ended. Garcia cannot afford to ignore Rolly Romero, who has only lost twice in his career, once to Devon Tank Davis, who also knocked Romero out, and once to Isaac Pitbull Cruz, which had a detrimental effect on Romero's career trajectory.
Are you gonna walk around the whole fucking shit? Yeah, I know. But yeah, I mean, this is a fight that I feel like the fans wanted for a long time until he lost. So
since Rolly Romero is also renowned for his knockout artistry, Garcia is aware that he will face a difficult opponent. However, unlike Pitbull Cruz, he lacks durability and a strong chin, which has led Drew to compare him to Mike Tyson. Nevertheless, Garcia will want to remind fans that he is a knockout artist because he has a devastating left hook. If Romero keeps trying to get the knockout, Garcia will have a larger target to aim for, and it will also help him get ready for any Haney rematch, because it will remove any ring rust that he may have sustained during his timeout.
got a lot of things ahead, but fight-wise, I either want to fight the 154-pound champion, Sebastian Fundora, or I want to fight Isaac Cruz.
The Garcia-Romero triple header in Times Square, the establishment of a boxing league involving a leak UFC head honcho Dana White and the UFC parent company in WWE, and the third match between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano headlining on Netflix. This summer are all crazy. Yes, we're going to fight there in May. It will be good, and I'm ready to do it. Ram Morale is still a great fighter, even though he may have lost once, but fans love him. He's a big dude.
He hasn't really made that many adjustments, to be honest. Still making a lot of the same mistakes, still kind of fighting the same. His chin actually looks like it's gone.
However, when the WBA released its most recent rankings update, Garcia and Romero were ranked number 2 and number 3 at welterweight, despite the fact that they had previously been unranked at 147 pounds just a month earlier. Romero wasn't rated as high as 140 pounds either, and the WBA had him as number 8 junior welterweight as of January, which made sense considering that Romero had lost the WBA title to Isaac Cruz in March 2024, and that his only ring appearance since then had been a unanimous decision over the unheralded, unranked January 1st 16th UL Jamies in September. Garcia had been completely unrated by the WBA for the previous year, and his last ranking was number 4 at junior welterweight in January 2024. The WBA removed Garcia from its list after he signed to challenge Devin Haney for the WBC title. Garcia's ongoing absence was probably due to his suspension after testing positive for a performance-enhancing substance after defeating Haney in April 2024. It is regrettably not surprising that Garcia and Romero are back in the WBA's rankings and that they are ranked so highly. The WBA is once again the WBA. And if the winner of Garcia-Romero goes on to face the winner of its chief supporting bout between Haney and Jose Ramirez, or the winner of the undercard bout between Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barbosa, the WBA will make more than $1 million simply by including this pointless title.
That's how we know we got shot. You're fucking live. Nice live.
The sport doesn't need these extra titles. This fight doesn't need this bauble to grab our attention. But the WBA obviously survives and thrives because of them. Devon Davis, who drew with Lamont Roach last weekend, has shared the ring with both fighters and has had a say in who hits hardest in 2022. Davis maintained his undefeated record when he faced Romero in New York and won via 6th-round stoppage. That doesn't include all of the other fees and expenses the WBA requires fighters, promoters, and managers to pay. Two fights later, in one of the biggest boxing events of the year, Davis defeated Garcia by stopping the Californian with a vicious body shot. Later this year, Garcia and Romero will square off on a major show in Times Square, New York, and a victory for Garcia will open the door for a rematch with Devin Haney, who also appears on the same show. Garcia starts the fight with Romero as a major favorite, but Davis did not hesitate to answer when asked who the biggest puncher was. "I ain't lie, Rolly hit hard. People have been sleeping on Rolly," Davis said in reference to Fight Hype.
You're gonna compare Cruz to a puncher like me.
Romero here in the first round.
One, I'm bigger than both of them. But in this fight, he's not looking.
Rolly is getting caught because he doesn't have any chin on him. But if they win their fights in May, it's hoped that Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney will rematch later this year after a contentious first fight. In April of last year, the fight was supposed to be a defense of Haney's WBC super lightweight world title, but an unpredictable Garcia weighed 3 pounds over the limit, disqualifying him from a shot at the title. Nevertheless, an agreement was made for the fight to proceed, and Garcia dropped the champion 3 times en route to a decision victory, which was later ruled a no contest after it was found that Garcia had tested positive for a prohibited substance twice during fight week.
You're fighting me, right? And I'm right here. See how you drop? See how you drop? So it goes like this.
Until Ryan Garcia steps through those ropes and delivers, the doubts will never go away. May 2nd isn't just another fight for Garcia. It's his last chance to prove he's more than just a social media star with wasted potential. If he fails this time, no amount of words will save him. How do you see this going? Share your thoughts below and remember to subscribe for more updates. For now, Garcia is saying all the right things about respect, professionalism, and proving himself.